Well, I think we're open for sharing.
Are you recording?
Yes, I did turn it on, but thank you for reminding me. Sort of summarizing the healing principles and summarizing the 59 work, and it's a good last two tapes to listen to. Oh, that's probably because I don't have the mic over here and I'm not speaking up, and probably about 100 reasons for that. But I want you to notice I didn't drop it. I was saying that this is the last tape of the 59 work, as he said, and it's sort of a good summary and a good place for us to end this series of. Yeah, we started last September. We've been at it for a while, October anyway, so we've done the full 9 months of work that he was told that he had to present this for. But nothing we haven't heard. Yes?
This is Christy. You know, I think that's the very first time I ever heard him say, or I caught and said, there's no such thing as human consciousness. The belief in two powers. That really good, because I'm always, you know, I got that. It's like, it was the first time that there was ever a defining point in my intellect where it went, there is no human consciousness.
Right.
It's a belief in two powers. I guess really believed that there was human consciousness and God consciousness.
A separate human bubble over here. Okay.
And it just kind of like went.
Yeah. Yep, human consciousness is, there's one consciousness. And there's one mind. And the mind is driven by the consciousness. Mm-hmm. But within the consciousness, there is just one mind, but within the consciousness, there are individualizations, impersonal individualizations of the one consciousness. And these impersonal individualizations are the ones that appear to be making progress from animal level of consciousness to the transcendental level of consciousness. But the difference is not in anything except what that individual consciousness believes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the whole point. And the definitive thing about human consciousness, quotes around that from now on, is the belief in powers other than what is. Or 10,000 things, but the belief that there could be a power other than what is, or the belief that there could be a substance other than what is, or the belief that there could be an activity other than what is, or the belief that there could be, anything other than what is. We keep not believing. We're just so thoroughly conditioned, even though we've been taught since day one, if we go to church, we refuse to believe in omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. If what is everywhere, there's no place for anything else. If what is omnipotent, there is no other power. So, but we're just, it's incredible how conditioned we are not to accept that.
Yeah, and I got great clarity when, and also I think a couple sentences after that he said, we're born into
yes.
the belief. See, and there's that belief again. I always thought that there was human consciousness. It's like, okay, I'm born into it, but it's still a belief. It's like
Sure.
Because there are people that come in and just deny it from the get-go,
Yep.
That it's like nonsense.
or have the moment of clarity,
Right.
like Robert did, or
Yes.
Joel did, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he says we're born into it, what he means is, well, first of all, that we come in already conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
We brought with us the previous 10,000 lifetimes, so we come in already conditioned with those beliefs. And everybody and everything we encounter also believes that and reinforces it. But it's just the belief. Yeah, that's what I mean when I say that if for one instant nobody believed in the power of flu, there would never ever be any flu again. Because it's the belief in flu and the power of flu that is the self-sustaining thing that's going around and causing people to catch it and believe in it and pass it around. And if there was just for one instant nobody believed in cancer, then there would be no way for it to kickstart itself again, okay? It would be gone. There would be nobody saying it and nobody believing it, and it would just go poof out of human consciousness.
I think the simplicity of the example of the mirage really just...
Yeah. That water on the road is my favorite by far because we're all so familiar with it too, you know.
Yeah, I can get a visual. When he says that, I can get a visual of that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my real favorites, the water on the road. What are you going to do about it?
It was nice to hear him saying not only if you encounter it, but if someone calls you about anything, it's the same as if they called you about the water in the road. And somehow had framing it like that, it was really helpful.
Hey, there's water on the road. Yeah, well, all right. You got your
driving, and
you got your heels.
Yeah.
I have heels when you drive on.
That's very cool.
But you know what? That's just conditioning. We're so conditioned that we have to do something. Yeah.
Sure.
It's just that simple.
Well, we have this belief that what we see is real. We don't realize that what we see is what we believe. It's not what's real. There's no reality there's no externalization, you know. We see our beliefs. Why do we see, practically speaking, why do we see water on the road? Because the heat off the road is causing light waves to bend, okay? So what are we looking at? We're looking at the sky. The light from the sky curving back up to our eyes. Now, why do we call that water? Because our mind only knows one way that it can see the sky is if it's reflected. The mind doesn't know anything about curving light waves. So the mind says, oh, must be water. I see the reflection of the sky, okay? That's the belief. So even physically, getting real about it, you know, I mean, it's just a false belief. The mind has the false belief that the only way it could see the sky looking at the road is if there were a reflection. And they're not. There's the nature of the air. It's curved, you know. So we're seeing curved light. Yeah, it's just all. The entire universe is perceptual. It has no reality. And it's what I perceive. I mean, Lee, I don't mean Kappa. I mean, it's what Lee sees is what Lee perceives. And what you get to see is what you perceive. Yeah. I'm glad that got nailed through to you. And he's just had a big hammer just pounding on your heads with it, wasn't he? Yeah.
The doubt. You know, I didn't even realize this until a couple days ago. But every week for 4 consecutive weeks, I would go home on Monday night and wake up in the middle of the night with this appearance of having a bladder where I just couldn't go to the bathroom. And unbelievable pain in that. And I've been working with it and realizing it's holding on. I'm just holding on to it. and all that. And then it's like, what power do I believe in? Well, I realized it was I have a belief that my body is a power. And that my body is a power that can stop me from doing something. And it's been really cool because it's just it. I just see it. And so I'm stepping back and just watching this. Wow, I think that this is a power. That this is, this body. And that me is in it. And if I didn't believe that, no matter what I think I believe, then I wouldn't be experiencing this. And it's just...
Or, if you were experiencing it, it would be irrelevant.
Yes, that's
Oh, look at that. Adele's in pain. That's interesting.
And it's actually moved more toward that, which is very interesting, because during these processes, just watching it and not getting emotional about it.
No, you heard Robert for years saying that if you are looking at, if you know it's not your body, the pain is reduced by 90%.
And going through these experiences has been one. And I'm just seeing it as more of a gift. Oh, this is what Phil is believed in. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yep.
But it wasn't the power of disease, because that doesn't bring, but it's the power of the body itself that is still believed.
No, because you don't think that the bladder not going is because of a disease, you think it's because of a muscle or something. So, no essential difference between whether it was flu.
A body that isn't working right.
Yeah, you believe that there's a body that does, A, that there's a body, and B, that it can be unharmonious.
Yes. And that it, even more, that it can impede this me.
Who therefore must be in it.
Very funny.
Hi, it's Bridget.
Hi, Bridget. Speak up, please.
Okay, I'll speak up. What Christy was saying about where probably that by being born we accept belief in two powers, and I thought that struck me as well. And then the other part where I just went, wow. Where the healing has nothing to do with God.
Isn't that great? I love that, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was like, wow.
That'll blow the spiritual healers out of the water, won't it?
Yeah, and it's interesting because it kind of goes hand in hand where I am in my work, where I'm diving into my fears and what is the false belief that is engineering or igniting or whatever makes the fear perpetuate. And one of my fears that I went bingo last night was that, and it kind of goes with what Adele was saying, it's sort of, well, I think it does in my story for myself. It says that I will, that it will, that I'll never have total dominion over myself, over my body, over my feelings. That I will be thrown into fear without warning. As if that I have no say in it. It's just that I'm taken by the winds of whomever I'm in contact with, as if I have no power. And I thought that's fascinating by what he's saying in the fact that what he's saying, I'm putting it together with I don't know, it just speaks to me that the fear and the creation of fear is running this so deeply that it goes hand in hand with the false belief, and yet at the same time, sometimes I don't even know it exists until I come up face to face with it.
Yep.
And it goes right to where it says, by being born, we accept it. So,
By being born, we accept that we are separate from God, independent, on our own, and there are powers out there that can cause us to die. And I've said many times, you've all heard me, that every human activity is based in fear. And fear really means boils down to fear of death. Okay? That's it. That's the conditioning. Every activity is based in fear. And the belief, you can say it, or the belief in the separateness from God, from what is.
and like you say in your scripting book, it's where it says we're manifesting our fear, not our need for hope.
Yep.
And then to say healing has nothing to do with God, I just love it.
So what does it have to do with? Why do we call it spiritual? Why do we call it spiritual healing if it has nothing to do with God, which is spirit?
Because well, the way I see it is that God is. I mean, it's what is already is.
Yep.
I just need to rise above and get an alignment.
Yep.
And believe that.
Nothing to do. Nothing to be done. Yep. Recognize when he says we don't use God, I mean, that God has nothing to do with spiritual healing. He's really leaning on that we don't get God to do something. But what spiritual healing requires is realization of what is. And you're exactly right, Bridget. That's the whole point, is the realization of what is. Yeah.
Are none of our human activities because of love based on love instead of fear?
You may perform activities while wearing a body that are based on love, but those are the activities of the spiritual part of you, not the human part. Every activity that's based in belief in the presence of God is based in love. So, we're these dual beings, spiritual beings having human experiences, and if your activity is based in fear, that's a human experience. If your activity is based in love, that's, to that extent, you're experiencing the presence of God. So yeah, there are lots of, we all in this room do loving things. But see, we don't do those. Loving activities happen through us. If we're doing it, it's based in fear. If it's happening through us, it's based in love, is how that really comes out, isn't it? So are we listening on Monday nights, or are we practicing all week? Okay, thanks for coming. I love you all. See you soon, I hope.
I think
Good night, kids.